right, this looks like a beautiful library. I'd love to take a look around, but we're actually going to move into our tour builder. And here we are on the front end. Now you're going to just log in on a pretty simple login menu to reach this page. If you do have a tour created, you're going to see them all listed right out here. Fort Hunter is the name of my neighborhood here in upstate New York. So you're just going to see a nice look around, so to speak, of the general area, but not a whole lot going on around me. So I did kind of take some liberties with the tour. However, if you were interested in creating a new tour, you would just click this button right here. Before we do that, I do want to call out the media library. This is where all of the media that you upload to use into your tour can live. You'll see it segmented out into panoramas, images, videos, audio tracks that have been added, or any 360 videos. If any icons have been uploaded or are in use, you can see them here. Or if you have new media to upload, you can just click here and upload right from your computer, give it a name. You can always search for your images. If you have a lot of media, this makes it a lot easier to just find what you're looking for. Another great recommendation is just to make sure you have a good naming convention. So if I was looking for the beach or the Center for Integrated Life Sciences, I can pull those things up really quickly and easily versus say picture 45372, etc. We'll go ahead and check out here now. We give you the option to see who's working in your CMS at any given time. Right now, I'm the only one logged in, so it just says one online user. If the icon is green, that means they're active. If the icon is red, that means they've been inactive for at least 15 minutes. And you might just want to shoot them a message and tell them, hey, get out of there. I'm working on that tour. We do recommend only one person work on a tour at a time. That way you're not repeating work or possibly undoing things as things get saved and published. If you check here, you have the option to switch accounts. Your account settings menu here, if we click that, that's going to bring us into our account settings, obviously. It's going to give us our name, show me how many 360 videos I have uploaded. Need to get working on that. But here's a great way where you can add your Google Analytics information, again, just to kind of find more information about your audiences. So here, if you wanted to go ahead and add your Universal Analytics ID, we are still supporting that for now. However, I do know that Google has turned that off and is only allowing Google Analytics 4. Not to worry, you can add that right here. You can also just go ahead and add your Google Tag Manager. And if you work with Capture Higher Ed, you can also add that tracking ID here as well to get that information into your Capture Higher Ed CRM. Over here, you'll see a list of any users that have been created and the roles they currently have. As you can see here, I'm the owner of my tour, and I have one account created for John Doe here, who is only a viewer. If you ever need a refresher on what those tour permissions mean, you can click this right here. And this might look familiar. I took this from this page to add to my slide from earlier, but this will give you a nice definition as to who can do what right there from your CMS. You can go ahead and click Add a New User here. Pretty simple menu allowing you to select your user permission. And then lastly, this Publish button. We'll talk more about this in just a second, but if you do have pending changes for your tour, nothing goes live until this is clicked and you acknowledge the publish changes that need to be made ahead of them going live. So there's kind of a fail-safe to make sure everything's looking good before you go live. All right, we're going to head back into Tour Builder, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom out as well. And now we're going to take a look at the, now I have this front end restricted. This is private, meaning you wouldn't be able to find it just by surfing the web. However, if I were to send you a link to this tour, you would be able to view it on your end, but you wouldn't find it just Googling around. You can go ahead and preview to take a look at the actual front end option as to see what someone will see once they first arrive on the tour. But if you go ahead and click edit, this is going to bring you to the actual tour builder. And as you can see, we have across the top pretty laid out our nice options as far as what goes where. Again, we have another reminder as to how many people are editing this tour at any given time. As you can see, I'm the only one logged in here. However, if there were others, and same rules apply for green and red, red meaning they've been inactive for longer than 15 minutes. In general, you'd be able to add the tour name, add a tour description, adding any keywords, which helps at SEO if you have other nicknames for locations or trails or things around your organization or your campus. You'd be able to add those here to kind of give more weight to that search. Again, here's where you'd be able to actually toggle public versus restricted, where, as you can see, mine is currently set to restricted, meaning I would need to send you my tour, and you would have to actually have viewer permissions to be able to log in and see that. Your default zoom level, this just determines how zoomed in or out your map will, or the map on the mini map will be once you logged in. And here, as I mentioned before, if you do have VR or options or want to turn on VR for your panoramas, here's where you would turn that on or off right here. And then here's a way you can edit the welcome video. You can enable the pop-up message to display when it first opens the page or not. That's an option to have that greeting. And you can also add a welcome video if you have YouTube or Vimeo content you'd like to leverage on to welcome someone to your page as an introduction. You have the option to add that there. You'll always be able to see the last time someone edited your tour right here at the bottom. As you can see, it was me back in April, so I haven't worked on this one much. If we go ahead and click over on the tour stop tab, you can see the different tour stops that have been built out for this tour. If you wish to add a new tour stop, you can click Add New Tour Stop. Here's where you'll give it a name. We'll just go ahead and give this one Sample. If you have media, you can go ahead and select a panorama, 360 video, or a static image. You can always drag that media in here as well. And again, if you want to add some text, images, video, or audio tracks, or if you want to select images or video that you already have imported to your media library, you can just click that there and bring that up right away. If you do try to leave without saving any changes, there will be a reminder. I'm going to go ahead and discard changes. If we go over to buttons, those buttons at the top, as I mentioned before, those are the ones that are your calls to action. Here you have the option to have a standard button, or if you click Create New Button, standard or drop down, and again, open in a current window or in a new tab as far as the results of that click. Here is the Styles tab, and this is a great way to customize your tour and give it a little bit of your organization's flair. You can select a primary color to be used for small highlights throughout the tour. You can go ahead and update a logo or upload a logo to be used. This will be used in the upper right corner of your tour page here. You can also add a link to your website to send that visitor to that website if clicked. Your buttons, you have the option to choose your button text color and some button background color. This one has a very flashy purple and green motif going on here. Love to see it. You can add a favicon to your mobile screen shortcuts or tabs at the top. And here's where you would be editing your hotspots. Now, you can have a custom icon to display for specific hotspot types. For instance, if you had an icon you wanted to show for every image hotspot, every text hotspot, you can select that here, and it's going to default for all of the possible options for your hotspot icons throughout the page. If you have forms, here's where you would be able to edit those and either embed from another CRM, and some other settings here is whether or not to display, or repeat form display as if they were to ignore it the first time to show it a second time as they continue to click around. Translations, if you do have translations added to your account, you can go ahead and add French. A lot of good things there. If you have to add a language, you can go ahead and click there. And again, here is a list of those added languages before. We have French, Simplified Chinese, Korean, Chinese Traditional, Dutch, Spanish, German, and Japanese. Lastly, the Share and Publish tab. The Share Tour is going to allow you the same options to share your tour as if you had just seen on the front end as far as media and map view, as well as a share link and an embed code. On the right here, you'll see a list of any published changes that are waiting to be made, as well as a list of any previously made changes and their dates shown here. You can download a CSV of all of your most recent changes to look at a glance in a spreadsheet, or just keep up on all the good things happening with your tour.